just setting up for interview number 2. We like interviews. We like it even better when they record perfectly, or however you want to see it. We're waiting.
The last one I'm kind of distant, but it wasn't
Yeah,
my story to
yeah.
tell, so.
No, for sure. I'd like to get 3 mics in here eventually. Like, I'd also like to have $10 million to sell the rights to our podcast. That'd be fucking awesome.
Woo!
Woo! Make it rain, make it rain.
It's
I don't even know if I can give the name of the person we're going to be talking to because I have to ask that and I'll edit it out and all that good stuff. I mean, I'm recording right now just because,
Because we do.
we're hilarious.
So I'm crunching away.
Oh, I haven't even had any cheese dip yet. I love cheese dip.
I know.
Okay, so he says, whenever you're ready to call, just call. Oh, I call this number. Oh, dummy. I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. No, it didn't.
No.
Oh, maybe I don't have it.
Paired?
Oh, hi, is this Austin?
This is.
Hi, Austin. It's Jas. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and yourself?
Well, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking this time to talk to us. We greatly appreciate that. Sorry, we try to plan out our recordings, but life gets crazy sometimes, as I'm sure you can appreciate. So,
Oh, yes, it does.
I know. Are you okay with me putting you on the bigger speaker so I can record our stuff? And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
okay.
more than fine with me.
Okay, let me just see if I can get it here. There we go.
There
Now
we
we
go.
got it.
Now you're loud.
Hi, Austin.
Hello.
Sorry, how rude. I hit the speaker on the phone and not the actual iHome speaker. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay, cool. So we're Giving Up the Ghosts. We claim to be Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast, and we love creepy, cool stuff. So we like to, share stories that we heard when we were kids, substantiate, find information, talk to people about different things. So anything you want us, like, you can speak freely if you choose whatever you want to speak about, or nothing, like as far as like details. If there's anything after the fact that you think you've said that you want me to delete or take out, definitely let me know and I can take care of that for you. That's not a problem. Discretion is our thing.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Should I start?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well,
Fire
first,
away.
well, I'll tell you what. First, I'll do the intro. This is Jas.
And Sher.
With a mouthful
With
of
a mouthful
food.
chocolate chip.
And we swear and drink a lot too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
oops, sorry.
In any event, this is Giving Up the Ghost, and we have our guest. Do you want to give your real name or?
My name is Austin.
Perfect. Okay,
Excellent.
that's totally cool. Yeah, that's cool. So we have Austin. He's going to share some stories now. It's up to his discretion whether or not he wants to tell how he's come across these events and scary stories. I'll let you have the ball. You can go ahead and tell us whatever you'd like. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Well, first of all, I should start off when I was a kid. They always say you see ghosts when you're a kid.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but so my great-grandpa died. My mom really wanted me to see him. And I remember her telling me she had a dream that he came and saw me.
Ooh.
And the next day, as I was a little kid, I don't remember it, but I remember my mom telling me that I came out of her back, like we used to have a house, and I ran out of this room. And I said, Mom, Posy was his name.
Okay.
I said, I saw Posy.
Wow.
Oh.
And I don't remember that, but my mom said I had a conversation with him.
Right.
And I put my mom's kind of soul at ease, you could say.
Yeah.
So you could say I've always been able to see stuff as a kid. As I've gotten older, I haven't really seen anything
Right.
until I came a plumber and I started doing jobs of my own.
Okay.
Once I started doing jobs of my own, I started doing big jobs like the Fort Garry Hotel and large building complexes like old folks' homes and all that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
First of all, I should start off with Fort Garry Hotel.
Okay.
That place is something.
Oh, yeah.
Something, yeah.
It's like the Mecca almost, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
it's like the attraction of everything. All right. Like ethereal.
It's scary how much physical activity can happen in there. Like, not just the feeling, but how much physical stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I do know they have a crawl space there,
Okay.
and going in there by yourself is, number one, you can't do that anymore.
Oh God.
But number two, it's scary as a mother trucker.
Really?
Because they have sectioned-off fire doors down there,
Okay.
and these doors are spring-loaded, and they're about as thick as a security door.
Okay.
I've seen those doors open completely,
Oh.
and I have to have a really bright flashlight, the job I do,
Right.
and I don't know what it is in there. When the door opens,
Yeah.
no light goes in there.
Oh.
There's crawl space lights down there, but there is no light in that section that's open.
Oh,
Oh.
It's the
creepy.
weirdest thing. I don't know if dust kicks up in there, but there's no airflow down there.
Wow.
There's
Weird.
no fans, no nothing to really. There's no windows. There's nothing really to
Yeah.
set your mind at ease down there either.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
trapped.
Yeah. Do you go by
Or with
Do you go by yourself, or do you go with like a coworker when you go down there?
now we go with the coworkers. But some coworkers, one sits up top and one goes down in the hole. That's
Oh.
the thing.
Oh, jeez.
And so in case something happens, you shout to the other person and they go and get help.
Oh,
Oh.
God. Oh, and then they leave you there.
Hmm?
And then they leave you there. Like if you say
Yeah,
they go get
sometimes.
help. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's
God.
unnerving.
It is, right? You're stuck down there. They have to leave to go and get help, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of unnerving sometimes, but it comes with the job.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
And I don't know what room it is. I can't remember. But they say the most haunted room
Yeah.
in that hotel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That bathroom sink always plugs up with red hair,
Oh, God.
Oh.
red water, and hair.
Oh, God.
There's no one goes in there, but it plugs up with black hair, which is normal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hair becomes black in a drain.
Oh, wow. That's
But
room
The
202.
redness out of that drain is
Yeah.
concerning.
That would be concerning. That's room
To say the
202.
least.
Yeah, 202, just so you know.
Unit 202, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That, I don't know, right? So you have to take a bucket, you open, right? You run a snake in. And what the color of water in your bucket,
Yeah.
the very red. It's
Oh.
very weird.
That is
Ah.
weird. And with you being a plumber, just going to throw this out as devil advocate, it's not rusting of the pipes or anything with you being a plumber, correct? Oh, hello?
Hello? Hello, where'd you go?
Hello? Maybe we're talking about it and it doesn't like it.
Oh,
Oh, shoot.
what the hell?
Well, I think he was in his truck driving.
No. Shit.
Yeah. I'll try him again.
That's a job I wouldn't like.
No.
Mm-mm.
Here we go.
There's shit that gets lost in those drains over the...
One ringy dingy.
Sorry about that. Looks like the call failed.
Oh, no, that's okay. It's kind of creepy that it failed right when we're talking about something pretty suspenseful.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
And right
Maybe
away,
doesn't want me talking about it.
yeah, that's exactly what we said. It doesn't like it,
Yeah.
right? So,
Oh.
I was just gonna
It
say
doesn't.
no. I was just gonna say just to play devil's advocate with you because with you being a plumber, let's just say, is there the possibility that the red could be like rust or no?
Yes, it rust. So with sediment, that's rust in a line, right? It kind of
Mhm.
settles down, the water goes away,
Yeah.
and it actually builds up rust.
Okay.
But the problem is, so that can give you a red color. That can sometimes scare people,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Right.
But it has a brownish tinge to it,
Mm.
right? Like rust.
Okay.
It's really red, but it has brown to it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
This water is just straight red.
Oh.
Mm. So yeah, but what I'm trying to say is with you being a plumber, you would know the difference, obviously.
Yes.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never seen
Okay.
water that red. Like I've seen close to it in
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
lines, but that's with the buildings that are not used very often,
Right.
with their drains. But for the fact the hair to get down there
Yeah.
too means water's being ran.
And it's used
Right?
then, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, that's creepy.
That is creepy.
So so it's kind of like a catch-22.
Hmm.
You have to have water running to
Get
get
red
hair
water.
down there,
Yeah.
but you can't have water running to get it that red.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Creepy.
Ew.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
don't
the
like that.
concerning part, right? And going away from Fort Garry Hotel,
Mhm.
going to old folks' home is a whole nother story.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
We do a lot of old folks' homes where people pass away.
Right.
They just get old.
Yeah.
And those rooms, right, when someone just passes away, we get called to snake their drains, right?
Oh.
They just want to get everything ready to go for the next person.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Every time we go in there, we get a weird feeling,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Or I've seen buzzers go off, and the people come in.
Oh.
They say, "Was that you?" And I'll be like, "No, that was not." And they're like, "Oh, it's normal," right? And it's weird to hear that from someone that deals with people that pass away a lot.
Right.
To say, "Oh, it's normal for alarms to go off."
Right.
Yeah.
This to happen.
They don't talk about that shit
Well,
all
no,
the
they
time,
no, they
though.
don't.
No, I know. They'll talk about with people that
I
work
do
there,
know-
but...
Without a reasonable doubt, my phone, I can never seem to make a phone call in units that someone has recently passed away.
Really?
I don't know why. Its calls always fail.
Huh.
Wow.
That's creepy.
And here's another thing. My phone, you know that feeling you get when you think the phone vibrated, but you look, like you swore it vibrated, but it never did?
Yep.
I heard that's apparently spirits trying to contact someone.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you. Thank you for putting that in my head now. Shit.
That's apparently kind of, it's them trying to get a hold of you, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And my phone, I always swear it vibrates when I'm in units like that. The Fort
Wow.
Garry Hotel is the exception where it doesn't. I don't feel nothing besides
Yeah.
my phone doesn't ring.
Yeah.
It makes calls, but it's just a weird atmosphere.
Right.
I do know I had a coworker at the Fort Garry Hotel. He's been with us the longest.
Okay.
He actually experienced like a full-blown poltergeist, you could say.
Really?
Is that the ones that move stuff and everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he actually went to the Fort Garry Hotel, and there's those big row of mailboxes they have.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not sure if they have them anymore, but I actually asked him about this, and he said he walked in there late at night once there was something backing up, right?
Mhm.
Don't know what, he doesn't remember,
Right.
but he distinctly remembers walking in there by himself,
Okay.
and the mailbox is opening and closing,
Oh, that's
opening and closing,
that's creepy.
just right in front of him.
Shit.
And I do know he got a video of it. He can no longer find that video.
Oh.
Too bad.
But he said that was one of the most scariest things he's ever happened in his 30 years of doing this
Well,
job.
yeah, no shit.
Well, yeah, no
That
kidding.
was good.
Well, especially when you can't logically explain
Yep.
it. So,
No, yeah.
you know.
No, it's not like
you
wind.
can't explain that, to have it opening and closing right in front of your face, like,
No,
Mhm.
no. Oops.
right? Like crawl space doors opening is one thing,
Right.
That's scary
Mm.
because those are spring-loaded doors and they're heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
I've also had, actually in that Fort Garry Hotel, I almost had a pipe actually fall on me, just randomly crawling around down there.
Oh.
Ooh.
There's this one section that, whatever it is not like people in there.
Okay.
And every time I actually have to be in there sometimes, right?
Okay.
Whenever we're in there, they make sure we have 3 guys, 1 on the outside and 2 in that hole.
Really?
Because it's
Huh.
so terrifying. We've actually had 3 people leave because they've gone in there by themselves.
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
They just drop off their
What the
van,
hell's
they
in
never
those
come
pipes?
back.
Yeah, I don't. It makes me wonder. Not to be. Oops, sorry. That was my cell phone. Not to be an asshole and just make assumptions and stuff, but I mean, like, with all this stuff being so old, like, I wouldn't doubt if people either died while constructing the Fort Garry Hotel, maybe, right? Because that happens, or even possibly
Yeah.
maybe people were buried down there and they just have no clue. With it being so close to the Red River and
Oh,
stuff, right?
shit, man.
Because
Yeah.
with the fort, like with the lower fort that was there, was that upper fort? I can't remember. Like, it's so possible in those days, if they would never have excavated prior to building such a grand structure. You know what I mean? Like, there, for all
No.
they know, there could be like
Yeah.
Who knows?
anything
this stuff?
underneath there. So I
Yeah.
could see that crawl space being terrifying because there could be stuff down there that
And
just,
I do know it's very deep in some places, and I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard tales that there were tunnels actually dug.
oh
And
yeah,
they're about, you can actually stand up in some sections, and it actually goes like a tunnel,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like a trench.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a tunnel because the rich people, they didn't like getting wet in the winter, so they had tunnels. There was actually went from the CN train station
Yep.
underneath the Gentlemen's Club next door right to the Fort Garry Hotel. So you are correct. There
Yeah.
is a mystery tunnel that's
Yeah.
been since buried.
And I do it's the terrifying part is I'll never go in one of those trenches. I'll never walk in one of those. I'd rather crawl over it.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
It's about a 3-foot section, to 4 feet section. That's about 5 feet deep.
That's
It's
huge.
like a straight drop. It's very, very odd.
Ooh,
That is very odd.
that is odd. Yeah.
And as soon as you walk into one of those tunnels,
Yeah.
you feel like you're gonna pass out.
Ooh.
Well,
It's such an overwhelming feeling of guilt. I do know. I remember doing it once, and I felt like I was gonna die. Right? Like you feel like your heartbeat starts going, you start racing.
Wow.
You can't breathe. I do know gases like low oxygen can make you not breathe and give you anxiety.
Yeah.
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 The thoughts that you get in your head when you walk in one of those tunnels is not something that low oxygen will do.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, I've actually taken O2 sensor, right? With certain crawl spaces, we have to have it for safety,
Right.
Mhm.
and it never goes off in that trench.
Oh,
So
it's
so
all
right there,
then.
you
So
know,
Yeah.
it's not oxygen, right?
Right.
So
that's
it's very concerning, right? That crawl space is one of the most terrifying things you'll ever experience as a person.
Huh.
jeez.
I've actually been down there probably 5 times now, and it's quite deep. It's a bigger crawl space for that building that size,
Okay.
Yeah.
but it's very small and cramped at the same time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Very
hard to
intense.
explain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I
do know
think
pictures. You know how they say you see little white orbs in pictures?
Yeah.
Every time you take a picture of anything, you can be looking at the ground. In that picture, you'll see a white speck.
really.
Every picture I've ever taken in there,
Mm-hmm.
white speck in it.
Well, you have to send us some.
I do know in that crawl space, in that back room, in that one section that it doesn't like people going in,
Right.
there's multiple of them in one picture at a time.
Oh shit.
Send them to
But
us.
It's
if
a
you-
very eerie feeling. It's very weird, and that's where I almost had that pipe fall on me.
Okay.
yeah,
yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
It was a cast iron pipe, and it just fell. As soon as I went underneath it, it fell.
Almost like a warning, maybe, or something.
yeah,
Eh?
like get the F out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. If you have
And
those, if you
it's
have
almost
those
like that.
pictures, if you could send us those pictures, we'd love to see that. If you still
Yeah.
have.
I'll have to take a look. I'm not
Sure.
sure if they're still on. That was
Yeah.
actually a while ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I want to
That's-
see
I'll
creepy
see.
pictures.
Hopefully, I think I took a couple pictures before this year, and then within this year, because it deletes them
Oh,
after a year.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely take a look. If I have them, I'll send them.
Okay.
Awesome.
But it's very any questions you want to ask about that crawl space?
Well, I think you've pretty much filled the whole thing. Like, that's pretty terrifying. I would never have thought that you would get a feeling of guilt and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense, you know?
No.
Obviously, something's playing with your head, you know, like feeling,
It is.
yeah.
I wonder
And I
why.
do know. Here's the scary part. Every time I go in that crawl space, I swear I hear my name being called when I get home. I'll get home, and just before I'm about to sleep, I'll hear my name, Austin, in between my ear, and then
Oh
I'll
my
never hear it
God.
again.
That's horrible.
And it's weird how this has happened every time I've gone home
Yeah.
from doing those jobs, and that's one time I can play it off. 2 times,
Yeah.
okay. 3
Yeah,
times, maybe
okay.
there's something there.
Yeah.
The 4th time, there's something here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's right before you're about to fall asleep, and you hear a name, your
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And apparently, everyone that's gone in that crawl space has said the same thing.
Wow.
As soon as
Huh.
you get home, you hear your name
Well, I
spoken to
wonder
you.
what the
Just
hell
before you're
is
about to
going
fall
on
asleep.
down
Then
there?
nothing will happen.
Yeah.
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 Like no shit.
That
what
almost, that gives me the feel that it's like some kind of ancient burial things down there or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something that just can kind of that can kind of, anything that, you know, can invoke that kind of feeling and then
It's very-
resonate, you
Yeah.
know? Like that's intense.
Yeah, it's very active down there. It's very active down there.
Or they could have had shitty workers at that time too.
Well, maybe.
you know,
Yeah.
with city
Like,
mob
I
building
know-
shitty structures.
Yeah, like
and-
I know that the Gentlemen's Club next door, like that's got a shady history too, because
Yeah.
you know they'd bring in like hookers and prostitutes back in the day and stuff, and there's been 1 or 2 that have died, so I've heard.
Mhm.
And then they supposedly got rid of her through the back, but what if you know they use some of these tunnels for
who knows?
something, right? Like
Yeah, who knows?
who knows?
Yeah, and it's weird how they buried them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have been
Right, it's
shuffling people
like-
back and forth there.
Mhm.
Being down there, I swear I would have found them, right?
For sure.
Well,
And
yeah.
it's weird how there's dug out trenches in that. Like you can walk, it's pretty tight. You can't fit someone beside you, but you can walk straight in them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's actually it winds around. Like there's nothing in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mud.
Huh.
It's all mud underneath there.
That's
There's
weird.
no lining. There's no sand. It's just mud.
That's
And it's
weird.
very,
Well,
very
until
black
Bagumba.
mud
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
And the deeper you go into that crawl space, the darker the mud gets.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like
Um,
the pit of hell almost, right? Like
God, yeah.
I
God.
swear it is.
Man,
I'll- I would never go in that crawl space by myself.
no.
I don't blame
I
you.
would quit.
Yeah.
I would quit my job before I did that.
No,
Mhm.
don't blame me for sure.
I'm terrified what would happen.
Yeah.
Right? If 3 people just left
Oh shit.
that they didn't even go for another job. They just left.
Wow.
Right? 3 people, they sit down there by themselves.
Hmm.
There's obviously something there.
Yeah, no. You don't want to be there.
No, you don't need that. Oh my
No.
God.
Did you ever tell anyone about it? Like anyone that
Say that
works
again?
at Fort Garry?
Have you ever told anybody at the Fort Garry about your experience, or no? You just kind of keep
No,
mum?
besides people that I've been in there, right? Like a new guy comes on, like don't go down there,
Yeah.
right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Besides that, right? I've kind of told them I kind of play it up a little bit more,
Yeah.
make it a little more dramatic, like a ghost story.
Yeah.
But I've never really told anyone outside of work.
I
Yeah.
see.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, like
I was
I've
just curious if workers knew about that.
oh,
right?
for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Like I've had experiences.
guarantee-
I've had experiences at the Fort Garry Hotel too. So,
And I bet you there's so many more people that have had experiences, but the reason why I never told anyone is because it sounds like it's a fake story.
right.
It's just too active, right?
Yeah.
People know it's haunted and all, but people don't believe it's that haunted
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I mean, you
until
know,
you experience.
and I'm sure,
right?
yeah, and like I'm sure we're new to you. You probably never heard of us before. We're doing this for a couple years, but that's the whole premise. We consider ourselves to be optimistic skeptics because we've had enough shit happen to us that
Yeah.
your experiences may not have happened to us, but we get that because like
Yeah.
because and like our podcast is a good forum for a lot of people that want to tell their story because it's kind of cathartic. You kind of have a bit of relief because
Yeah.
other people get that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because we're not here to judge you. Like we totally we
And
believe you.
Other people be like, "Holy shit, that happened to me too!" Right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you
Whereas
never know.
you
Yeah.
meet
And it's,
and then there's like other people you meet and they're like, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
disbelievers, right? But
right.
and I can go on for hours if you ever need.
oh,
right?
for sure,
Yeah.
no,
So many stories.
we'd love to hear your
with
stories.
old-
Yeah.
Old folks' homes. Yeah.
Oh.
Like I can go on probably for another half an hour.
Oh,
Um,
that's creepy. Though.
but
like,
old folks' homes
Yeah.
are just it's a very guilt. Like it's almost like something is not passed on,
Right.
right?
Oh.
And then you also get those sense of I've passed on feeling, right? I'm
Yeah.
happy
Oh.
in units,
Okay.
right? So there's sections, right? It's weird.
Huh.
And crawl spaces in old folks' homes are not as active as the Fort Garry.
Okay.
They don't have fire doors. Every time there's a fire door, I'll call for a second. I'll call for a third guy.
Yeah,
If
you're
it's
like,
fire
screw
doors.
it.
I don't know what it is.
yeah.
Really?
It kind of contains energy. It's weird.
Well, they are
I guess.
heavy
Yeah.
metal.
I've
Like,
seen
yeah.
big clouds of dust get kicked up in crawl spaces, and I mind you, there's no one down there. Right? It's just you and another guy.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no fans. There's no airflow.
No.
Some of them do, but most of them don't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just it's not very tall either, so it's almost like things get trapped in that small space.
Right.
With you.
And it's weird how things get trapped in the small space below everything.
And you're so confined. That's just it, right? Because
Yeah.
you're so confined. You have no choice to just go with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Stuck in a hole, basically.
you can't run.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
Boy, what a
And when
predicament.
you see something, you can't get out very fast.
No.
Right?
sure.
You actually have to crawl.
Yeah.
And there's been times where I'm 100 feet away from that hole, and you actually crawl 100 feet. So
Oh.
when something terrifying happens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You basically army crawl the fastest you can right to that hole just to get out, and then catch your breath and be like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God.
And I know the older, like the older guys that have been doing this for a long time, they just they're numb to it.
Okay.
They just
And
ignore it.
It's very weird to see
Yeah.
old plumbers become numb to this kind of stuff.
But and I think because they themselves, like older people come from an age where you don't talk about this shit, right? Like older people, they're not so forthgiving with this information. I mean, they're like, well, I
Yeah.
don't believe in ghosts. Yeah, I saw one time a book levitating off a table, but that was the wind,
it. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they just write this stuff
Yeah.
off, I think,
Yeah.
because their
They
man,
kind of they tell it off.
yeah, they play it off, exactly. Because, I think people fear the unknown, and if they can't
And
rationalize,
they don't want to be afraid either.
and they don't
right?
want to be that person, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that,
They-
oh,
they
Johnny's
disturb
loony.
the unknown, right?
Yeah.
People
Right.
don't like the unknown.
No.
Nope.
Uh-uh.
Nope. And like it's like meat and potatoes, right? Nothing else, nothing
Mhm.
fancy, nothing,
No.
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I get that and I respect that, but I mean at the same time you gotta leave your mind open to the things that you can't explain because there is something else out there. It's just basically we feel that ghost is just a science that they haven't fully discovered yet, is what it comes down to. You got levels of reality and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
some people maybe they're trapped here, the good and the bad, and they just don't know to move on, like you say.
With being trapped, I actually wanted to save this story. I didn't tell your coworker. This is actually more scary than Fort Garry. I've never told anyone this story. But this is an older house. I'm not going to say the name because I actually don't remember the address.
No, that's fine. That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember the neighborhood? Do you remember which end of town?
It's in the Wolseley area.
Well, isn't that interesting? Do you like how we ended it right there? Who doesn't love a good cliffhanger, right? That was part 1 of our interview with Austin, who came onto the show and talked to us of his experiences at the Fort Garry Hotel. Now, next week, we're going to have him back on part 2, a continuation for our Halloween week episode. And I have to tell you, frankly, the stories he tells on next week's episode is the most scariest shit I have heard in a long time. Normally, I don't get frazzled. Normally, I'm pretty good with this stuff. But as you've witnessed in this previous episode on part 1, Austin's pretty genuine, and we believe what he said was true. So wait till you hear next week. It'll terrify the shit out of you. So again, thank you for listening. And as always, live every day like it is your last. But never give up the ghost.